Hello, how are you? My name is Midrul, and I'm the Reese Program Manager for INIT. I've previously interned at Google in my freshman year, and I'm returning this summer as a software engineering intern. Today, let's talk about how we can get you an internship in tech. Alright, so before we actually get you an internship, let's tell you understand what an internship is. So, internship is a 10 to 14 week program where you work at a company, and the company tries to see if you would be a good engineer in the future. The reason it's really hard to get an internship is because there are a lot of people applying to a small number of jobs, and many people don't know how to stand out. So there's 4 different steps in the process. The first one is apply. So you have to apply for the position you want. The second one is getting a OA. OA stands for online assessment, which is basically a test that you give before the actual interview. So the third step is getting an interview. Now, the interviews are 2 types. The first one is a technical interview, and the second one is a behavioral interview. We'll go more into depth on what these interviews are. The fourth part of the process is getting an offer. So if you do well in the interview, you end up getting an offer for the internship. This is the good part where you're happy, you're free, you feel good, and you go to work in the company and make 100K as an intern, as a college student. Pretty great. So, before you actually apply, though, you need to be a good candidate to actually get a OA. And as I said before, a lot of people are applying to a small number of roles, so you need to stand out. Let's see how you can stand out in lesson 2. Let's see how you can become a good applicant. So these are the characteristics of a good applicant. I'm just going to say GA, good applicant. So the first thing that you need to do is actually have the skills. So have skills. These can be programming skills. This can be web development, AI, whatever you like doing. So having some type of skill, right, that makes you stand out. The second part of the process is showing that you have those skills. So having skills is a really good thing, but you need to show other people that you have those skills to actually get internships and jobs. So you can do these through making projects, putting them on your resume, talking to recruiters, telling them what you've done. So the third part of being a good applicant is networking. Networking is important because it lets you get in industry insights from engineers who have worked at those companies for multiple years. You can learn about how the company operates, would you want to work there in the future, and how much they're getting paid. So networking really helps. Another benefit of networking is something called a referral. So a referral is a document which an engineer who works at the company can submit for you. It basically tells the company that the engineer knows you and thinks that you would be a good candidate. It increases your chances of getting an interview or a OA substantially. So imagine you're a student who's applying without a referral, your chances of getting an OA are less than someone who's applying with a referral. Again, networking is not necessary, but if you do it, your chances of getting into the role go up substantially. So this is the overall application process, right? Before you apply, as we talked about, you need to be a good applicant, but being a good applicant looks different based on what year you are in school. So a good applicant as a junior would be completely different as being a good applicant as a sophomore. Let's look at how to be a good applicant based on your school year. This is the average school year for a college student. So before we get into what you should do each semester, I just want to get some things out of the way. So this depends on a lot of different things. Everyone has a different graduation date. Make sure to check with your advisor what your graduation date is, because it can depend on how many credits you came in with, if you did dual enrollment or APs in high school. And even if you're a freshman based on school year, you could technically be a sophomore or junior. So just keep that in mind. There's basically 3 types of internship. The first one are called freshman internship. So as the name suggests, these internships are for freshmen. The second types are sophomore internships. Again, similar to freshman internships, basically aimed at sophomores. The third type and the most basic types are called free internships. These are the internships that are mainly for juniors, but a lot of sophomores and freshmen also get into it. So these are basically the three different types of internship. Most internships happens in the summer because companies like to have interns in the summer. The recruiting for these internships starts in fall. So fall in freshman year, fall in sophomore, junior, and senior. And these are the semesters when you actually apply for the internships. And then you have interviews in fall and some in spring to have an internship by the summer. So you just graduated high school and you're starting your first semester in college. What should you do? So the first semester in fall is where you can get the freshman internships. This is when you actually apply for them. I believe that this is the best time where you can work on your resume. You don't need to have anything special, just something that you can apply with. Have some technical skills. There are a ton of online resources available. So this is when you apply for them. Spring is when interviews happen. So by spring you will know if you have an internship by summer. If you don't get one, nothing to be sad about. You still have a lot of time. When you intern at a company, what they like to do is that if they like what you do and how you work for the summer, they give you a return offer for the next summer. So you don't need to interview again. For most companies, you don't need to interview again. You just get an internship offer for the next summer. And in your junior year summer, if they like you enough, they give you a return offer for full time. So it's basically a recurring theme. That's why it's best to intern in freshman year because you keep getting internships and you've been at the company for almost a year by the time you do your junior internship. So you didn't get an internship in your freshman year. What you can do in the summer is use that time to improve your skills. You can work on projects, you can work on your technical skills. So when the fall for freshman year comes, the recruiting cycle again, you're prepared and you are a good applicant by that time. So to make sure you have an internship for summer in your sophomore year. Now, what do you do in your sophomore year fall? I hope you worked in summer, you made a resume, you worked in your technical skills. What you do is apply for sophomore internships. So a program like NVIDIA, Ignite, Microsoft Explorer are some of the programs that are sophomore internship program. But the best thing about sophomore years is that you could also start applying for SWE internships. Most companies like juniors, but if you have the skills, you also have chance to get a SWE level internship during your sophomore year. So again, you're still working on your projects and your data structures and all your lead code problems. But yeah, you're applying here and hopefully you have an interview for the summer. So junior and senior year are critical years. Most of the internships out there are for junior and senior students. So this is the best time to get an internship if you didn't have one before, and you have the highest chance of getting one at this position in your college years because most positions are available here. I know I said before that most internships happen in summer, but that doesn't mean that internships don't happen in summer or fall and spring. Some internships do happen, depending on the company and the intern. But yeah, summer is when most people intern, but fall and spring also do have internship programs. So you're not too cooked. You can still get one. Trust. So I know that was a lot of information. The goal of this was not to overwhelm you, but just to make you aware. If you're behind on any of the steps, don't worry. We can still help you. Now I'm going to tell you how INIT can help you get that full-time role and yeah, make money.
Don't say make money.
No, 200K base salary.
No.
250 TC, total compensation.
Oh my god.
Here's how INIT can help you in getting an internship. Are you confused on what to apply for and what internships are available out there for you? INIT Discord posts new roles that come out every day. So keep a watch on the new roles and new internships that we post on our Discord. I would also recommend talking to other members in the community and other interns. They can help you in finding what programs might be best for you, depending on what school year you are. Now, after that, let's see how INIT can help you in becoming a good applicant. So the first thing you need to do is have skills, right? Go to the Explore workshops. They teach you different skills, which you can put on your resume. The second part is show skills. So having projects. The program we have for this is called Build. This is where you work in a team for a semester and have a project at the end. Now, after you have that project, you need to put that on your resume. For that, we have the Reach program, where we host workshops about resumes, LinkedIn. So for networking, Shellhacks is a really great opportunity. It's Florida's largest hackathon and has a lot of different companies coming up, talking to you and trying to recruit you. So now we've talked about all these different programs, but if you're looking for internship help in particular, the REACH program is meant for that. Again, it's divided into two parts, technical and behavioral. The technical workshops talk about lead code and data structures. So what to do in an interview if you hopefully get one. They also help with the OA. So once you apply, you get an OA, which is like an online test. This test is comprised of lead code and data structure questions. The technical workshops not only help you for the technical interview, but also for the OA to actually get to the technical interview. So the second part of REACH is the behavioral workshops, which talk about the resumes and LinkedIn. So how can you make a resume that actually piques the interest of a recruiter who would then give you an interview? So if you ever need any help with resumes and LinkedIn, do come to our workshops. Here at INIT, we help underserved communities get jobs in tech. Join our Discord and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. And trust me, you're not cooked. INIT is here for you.